Welcome. My name is Douglas Grummins. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to give a spontaneous talk, which means I'm not rehearsing anything. I'm just going to give you what's on my mind at this moment in time. But wait, this is just in. Geneva physicists affiliated with the European Organization for Nuclear Research, the CERN, released a report Wednesday revealing that classical music exists in a field of relativity entirely removed from the four-dimensional space-time inhabited by human beings. Wow, okay, so with that in mind, go back and watch my string theory video and get filled in on the different dimensions that I talked about. I suggest watching string theory first before you listen to this entire broadcast. But anyway, let's get back to the article. It says scientists were performing a routine search for fifth-dimensional activity using the Large Hadron Collider, the immense particle accelerator famous for proving the existence of the Higgs boson. When they came across the entire corpus of Western classical music from 9th century Plainchart to Nicole Muley, according to the report, the innumerable works making up this body of repertoire exist in a continuum that resides just beyond the limits of human perception. The article goes on to saying classical music transcends both linear, forward flow of time and the Euclidean space we are used to, said Rolf Dieter Heuer, the Director General of CERN. A musical work is a mysterious entity whose essence totally eludes our senses. Physicists claim that any given performance or recording of a classical music piece is a kind of audible hologram projected into our everyday reality by the true musical work. I'm skipping over the article a little bit, but I'm just trying to read out the important parts. And here's what scientists have measured classical music's density and charge and tracked its position in the cosmos. Its role in the universe still cannot be explained. Some astrophysicists have speculated that the Western classical canon may in fact be the so-called dark matter that is thought to account for 95% of the matter of the universe. Others are less sure. Classical music exists in a dimension impenetrable to human beings. Now, stepping away from the article, that's not true. So we may never fully comprehend it, the article says, but Stanford theoretical physicist Leonard Susskind says, it's exciting that science has finally proven that classical music inhabits an independent, autonomous realm, detached from our mundane experience. He continued, but the question remains, what is classical music even doing in our universe in the first place? Well, I have to say, Leonard, that you guys are entering into our realms a little bit. People who meditate have dove into these dimensions that most human beings can't even enter, most normal human beings, unless you've meditated and transcended the fourth body, which is also the eighth dimension. And if you watched the string theory video, you'll understand that the eighth dimension was the heart center, the spiritual center of the human being. But it has to be transcended. It has to be taken up to the next level, which is into the ninth dimension. And at the ninth dimension is where I talked about the grid and the grid being so beautiful. The grid is only in the ninth dimension only. But we enter the ninth dimension sometimes in our sleep. It can be accessed through drug use, which is really a wrong way to go about getting into it, because that's coming in through the back door, and then you have to pay a price for your illegal entry. And what I mean by paying the price is drugs ruin your root chakra and your first lower four bodies, and the first four bodies, there are dimensions. That's the fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth dimensions. Drug use can actually give you a glimpse into the ninth dimension, but the problem with that is, like I said, it does cause problems, and it would take your body much longer to heal from those problems versus somebody who was a meditator throughout their lives and lived harmonious lives and meditated often and raised the energy up naturally. That person could actually have a lot better access to to the ninth dimension. But now with CERN, with the particle accelerator, physicists and scientists have a way of looking into these higher dimensions. They can't experience them personally, but they have a way of looking into them and seeing things. And they're about to find out a lot of interesting things. Like I said, they found out that classical music exists in the fifth realm. But what else can be found in this dimension, in the ninth dimension? A lot of mystics have said in the past that someday scientists are going to discover a way to be able to read thoughts, because thoughts are in waves. Just as classical music is set out in geometrically perfect patterns or waves, thoughts of the mystics. I mean, can you imagine that you could tap back into time if focused in a certain direction, that you'd be able to pick up on Jesus's thoughts or Buddha's thoughts or Lao Tzu's thoughts. I mean, all these things are also waiting to be found in the ninth dimension. But what I also dare to say, and I know this sounds really out there, but I also think that scientists, maybe with the particle accelerator, might be able to also discover that the architecture of what it would take for us to survive in the future will also be embedded into the ninth dimension, and we just need to learn how to tap into it the right way. And I don't think we should be stealing it or looking at it through a microscope. I mean, I think personally you should experience these things, and human beings should come up with the understanding. But I mean, I guess in a way, science is working out, for the benefit of humankind in this matter, that as long as it's pointed in the right direction, and we're not wasting time, going down avenues that lead to nowhere. I've also entertained the idea that certain music has possibly always existed, maybe in the ninth realm, but we are learning just now how to tap into it. And it's possible that artists, when they're in their creative modes, are actually tapping into the ninth realm, the ninth dimension of our existence. We have an 11-dimensional existence, according to string theorists, and the ninth is the first one that's outside of gravity. Okay, so it exists in you. Everyone has the 9th, 10th, and 11th within them, but they're inactive, and they don't become active until you transcend the spiritual center and all the centers below it. Transcendence of the first lower bodies, the 8th, 7th, 6th, and 5th dimensions. Well, those dimensions exist basically in time and out of time. They can be both. When a meditator is applied to these dimensions or gateways, they transcend them and open them up to the next one and up to the next one and up to the spiritual center, which is the 8th dimension. And when this happens, you have to raise enough energy to transcend the spiritual body, which means 51% of your energy goes past and up into the 9th dimension. And the good thing to know about the 9th dimension is the throat chakra. And the throat chakra is all about sound, hearing sound or vibrating sound. And then the 10th chakra is about seeing. So there's a different chakra for each dimension, because there's something different about each one of these dimensions. Sound is more abstract, more, in a way, it's more earthly. And in fact, if you think back to when you were a baby, you could hear before you could see. The ears are always open, and in fact, it's kind of hard to shut the ears, without some aid of some blocking device. But anyway, that's why hearing comes first in the lineage, and then sight, and not sight out of your two eyes, but out of your third eye, which is sometimes it's just a metaphor for being able to see visions. my energy was stuck at the throat chakra for a long time, for probably several years. It took quite a while before the ninth realm was opened up to me, and then after visualizing and seeing everything in the ninth realm, I wanted one day just to see. I said to myself, I want to see past this realm. I need to know what's behind it. What is creating this dimension, and all these patterns and beautiful things that I was seeing. And when I did, then I envisioned and saw the energy. And it was just like I said in the other video, there was a bunch of like millions and millions of white stars, little dots of energy, and they would either flow in towards me, or if I wanted to, I could with my mind change the flow to go away from me. But and every time I meditate, I see this vision of energy once I start getting into a deeper meditation. But I don't focus on the energy. I just let it happen. I might change the direction and flow. So in a sense, I feel like I'm giving to the universe. The universe is giving to me and transferring things to me, and then I'm giving back to the universe my experience. But you have to remember that each dimension is subtler and subtler than the next when you get up into the 9th, 10th, and the 11th. So the grid is visible in the 9th, and in the 10th it's just pure energy. But in the 11th, there's absolutely nothing. It is pure space. And it may be us looking into what they call dark matter. I don't know. That one's up for cause because it's so subtle that, the only way you know that you were in that dimension is when you come out of it. You're soaked with bliss, you're soaked with love, and it's an incredible experience. I wish you all could experience it. I wish there was something I could say, something I could do to entice you into learning to meditate and to spending time with yourself, for yourself, and help you to come to know yourself eventually. And to know yourself is to know all the multi-dimensionals that you exist in as a human being. I guess the best advice I could give would be to just be courageous. Dive into it. Try it. It's not going to hurt you. I promise that your life will be changed as soon as you start meditating and growing spiritually. And it's impossible not to grow spiritually if you meditate. So now is the only time you've got. And now is the best time to start. Just right here, right now. Just close your eyes, except if you're driving. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. But just, go inside and try to create gaps between your thoughts. And it's about time that you became the master and your mind became your slave, because you are in control. It is your destiny. It is your awakening. Anyway, thanks you again for joining me. Y'all take care now. And don't forget to look up the video on YouTube for string theory, as well as Beyond Death and a couple other videos that you might see with my name on them. Anyway, thanks again for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.